we've expressed our concerns about the Palestinian Authority as it stands today. It's certainly needed reform. As far as what role it's going to play in the future of Gaza, that's yet to be determined, if any role at all. We don't know. I mean, that's what's being worked on. Again, this is very complex. I mean, we are dealing with 30 or 40 years of mistakes, 30 or 40 years of terrorism, 30 or 40 years of deeply embedded problems, and we're about 14 days into this agreement. So right now we're trying to get through this, and part of that, the long-term governance of Gaza, that is not Hamas, it's not a terrorist organization. That's work that's going to need to be done. I mean, I can't prejudge what that's going to look like now, because that's going to be something that has to be worked on collectively with Israel, with partner nation states, and something everyone has, for it to work, everyone has to agree to it. For that to work, everyone has to agree to it. The work is happening, but we're not at that stage where I can tell you this is what it's actually going to look like. Nobody can tell you that. But I can tell you what it can't look like. It cannot be a place that is governed by anyone who wants to use it as a launch pad for attacks against Israel. If it is, then there'll be another war. There won't be any peace. There will never be peace as long as there's an area or a territory that's being used as a launch pad to threaten Israel's security. Everyone understands that, and everyone that signed on to this deal understands that.
On humanitarian aid, you mentioned that that's going to be coordinated through here. I wonder if you could say what the role of the UN will be, and specifically what role UNRWA might play in.
UNRWA's not going to play any role in it. Okay. UNRWA's not going to play any role in it. The UN is here. The UN is. We're seeing the work they're doing. The World Food Program. There's also not-profit NGOs, humanitarian assistance organizations that are involved in this. Samaritan's Purse. So it's a conglomeration of about 8 to 12 groups that are here. The United Nations is here. They're on the ground. We're willing to work with them if they can make it work. But not UNRWA. UNRWA became a subsidiary of Hamas.
And so when
you're talking about disarming Hamas, there's been some discussion of a program to buy back weapons.
Well, there's a lot of ideas floating out there.
So
ultimately,
how seriously is that?
Well, I don't know. But look, there's a lot of ideas out there about that. The bottom line is, you can't have any of the elements of terrorism. You can't have tunnels. You can't have rockets. You can't have anything that threatens Israel's security. I point back to the answer I just gave. If Israel's security is threatened, if 5 years from now, 3 years from now, 2 years from now, Gaza is a place where people who want to destroy Israel are able to operate from with impunity, there's not going to be peace. Everyone knows that. Every country that signed on to this understands that. It is one of the principles that's outlined here. That cannot be the outcome. The outcome needs to be a Gaza where people have jobs and a life and a better future, and people aren't thinking about, how do I kill Israelis, how do I attack Israel? Because if we can't reach that point, then there's not going to be a peace. There's not going to be an enduring peace. You can't be at peace with elements that want to destroy you and kill you and carry out another October 7th. Everyone recognizes that. But there's a lot of work that we need to do to achieve that. We're not there today, 13 days after this deal was signed. But I can tell you we've made more progress in 13 days than anyone thought possible. We've come a long way. This is the first mile in a very long journey. We've got a long ways to go, but we're optimistic that it's heading in the right direction. We are better off today than we were yesterday, and better off yesterday than the day before, but no one is under any illusions. There's a lot of hard work ahead. There'll be bumps along the road. There'll be threats to this peace that emerge that we're going to have to confront, but there are also some exciting opportunities as well that we want to make sure that we are pursuing.
Could I follow?
Yeah.
Another topic, talking about annexation. You were using the term Judea and Samaria a few months ago. Okay, there will be no annexation, but I'm wonder if you're still obligated to the name or the term Judea and Samaria.
I don't play semantic games. Well, who else?
Could I follow up on the annexation? You and the President, Vice President voiced opposition to annexation. Do you have the word from the Israelis that they're not going to go ahead with this in the West Bank?
Well, this was a vote that they took in the Knesset. From what it was explained to me, it was elements that tried to use it to embarrass Netanyahu while the Vice President was here. Suffice it to say, we don't think it's going to happen, and more importantly, it's not, from a legislative standpoint, structured in a way that could happen, but it would also threaten this whole process. I mean, we understand that, right? I mean, everyone has to understand if something like that were to happen right now, if that were to happen, a lot of the countries that are involved in working on this probably aren't going to want to be involved in this anymore. It's a threat to the peace process, and everybody knows it, but I'm not getting to the middle of Israeli politics. We're focused on peace and security.